Welcome, everyone. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of Christmas myths. Let's explore 5 classic Christmas story elements that, surprisingly, don't appear in the Bible. Our first myth takes us to the heart of the Christmas story, the night of Jesus' birth. The traditional carol paints a picture of a serene and silent night, a hushed reverence settling over the town of Bethlehem. But was it truly a silent night? Professor Greenuff suggests otherwise. He explains that Bethlehem, at the time of Jesus' birth, would likely have been far from silent. In fact, it would have been quite the opposite. This was due to a census ordered by Caesar Augustus, the Roman emperor. People from all over the region would have been traveling to their ancestral homes to register, crowding the small town. Imagine the scene: families arriving after long journeys, their belongings piled high on carts, the streets bustling with activity, the air filled with a cacophony of human and animal sounds, market traders hawking their wares, children playing, and the general murmur of a town overflowing with people. Professor Greenuff highlights that if it was census time and there were no guest rooms available, it's unlikely the night of Jesus' birth was silent. The influx of people would have made for a noisy and crowded atmosphere, a far cry from the tranquil scene often depicted. This historical context challenges the romanticized image of a silent night. It reminds us that the Christmas story unfolded within the messy reality of human history, a time of political upheaval and social change. The birth of Jesus, while miraculous, occurred amidst the everyday noises and activities of a bustling ancient town. So the next time you hear the carol Silent Night, remember the historical context. Imagine the bustling streets of Bethlehem, the murmur of countless voices, and the sense of anticipation hanging in the air. It might not be the peaceful image we're used to, but it's a far more accurate depiction of the night Jesus was born. Our second myth takes us on a journey, alongside Mary and Joseph, to Bethlehem. The image is iconic. Mary, heavy with child, perched atop a humble donkey, Joseph walking faithfully by her side. It's a picture of resilience and determination, a testament to the couple's arduous journey. But what does the Bible actually say about this mode of transport? Surprisingly, not much at all. The Bible does not mention a donkey at all in the journey of Mary and Joseph to Bethlehem. The Gospel of Luke, which provides the most detailed account of the Nativity, simply states that Joseph went up from Nazareth to Bethlehem. Professor Greenuff points out that the account does not tell us how they traveled, and riding a donkey while heavily pregnant would likely have been deeply uncomfortable. This omission raises several intriguing questions. Did they walk? Were they offered a ride on a cart? The Bible remains silent on this detail. The absence of a donkey in the biblical narrative suggests that this detail, so central to our visual representation of the Christmas story, might be a later embellishment. Perhaps it emerged from a desire to emphasize the humility of Mary and Joseph, their willingness to undertake this crucial journey by any means necessary. Or maybe it was a way to make the story more relatable, to connect with the everyday experiences of people in later centuries who relied on animals for transportation. Whatever its origins, the image of Mary on a donkey has become deeply ingrained in our collective imagination. However, it serves as a reminder that not everything we see in a nativity scene or a Christmas card is rooted in biblical fact. Sometimes the stories we tell and retell evolve over time, incorporating elements that resonate with our own experiences and understanding of the world. The missing donkey, far from detracting from the Christmas story, adds another layer of intrigue. It encourages us to delve deeper, to question our assumptions, and to appreciate the rich tapestry of tradition and interpretation that surrounds this beloved narrative. Chapter 3. No Room at the Inn, or for Animals. Our exploration of Christmas myths now takes us to the heart of the nativity scene, the stable. The familiar image is etched in our minds, a humble wooden structure, hay scattered across the floor, animals huddled together for warmth. It's in this rustic setting that we imagine the baby Jesus being born, surrounded by the gentle creatures of the field. But here again, our traditional understanding might be a little off-kilter. While the Bible mentions a manger, it makes no mention of animals being present at Jesus' birth. The focus is on the lack of space at the inn and the need for Mary and Joseph to seek shelter elsewhere. The animals, while not explicitly mentioned in the Bible, have become an integral part of our visual and cultural understanding of the Christmas story. Chapter 4. the elusive innkeeper and his stable. Our journey through Christmas myths now leads us to a character who has become synonymous with the nativity story, the innkeeper. Picture him, a gruff but ultimately kind-hearted man, regretfully turning away Mary and Joseph due to lack of space. He might even point them towards the stable, offering a glimmer of hope in their time of need. But if we turn to the biblical account, we find a curious omission. The character of the innkeeper, so central to our retelling of the Christmas story, doesn't actually appear in the Bible. The Gospel of Luke simply states that there was no room at the inn, without mentioning who delivered this news, or how the stable became their alternative accommodation. Professor Greenup elaborates on this point, stating, "The character of the innkeeper and the stable do not appear in the Bible. The Gospel only mentions that there was no guest room available. A stable is assumed to be Jesus' birthplace because of the lack of guest rooms and because Jesus was laid in a manger. The innkeeper, it seems, is a product of our own imagination, a character we've inserted into the narrative to fill a gap and provide a human face to the challenges faced by Mary and Joseph. His presence, while not biblically accurate, serves a purpose. He reminds us of the kindness that can be found in unexpected places and the importance of compassion, especially towards those in need. The stable itself, while not explicitly mentioned as the birthplace of Jesus, is a logical deduction. The manger, a feeding trough for animals, suggests a space used for livestock. This detail, combined with the lack of room at the inn, has led to the widespread assumption that Jesus was born in a stable. The absence of the innkeeper and the lack of detail about the stable highlight the sparseness of the biblical account. The Gospel writers were more concerned with conveying the theological significance of Jesus' birth than with providing a detailed historical record. Chapter 5. 3 Wise Men, Not So Fast. Our final myth takes us to the culmination of the nativity story, the arrival of the wise men, bearing gifts for the newborn king. We envision them, 3 majestic figures from the east, following a star to Bethlehem. They represent wisdom, faith, and the recognition of Jesus as the Messiah, even from distant lands. But how many wise men were there? While the number 3 is deeply ingrained in our Christmas traditions, the Bible itself is less specific. The Gospel of Matthew mentions wise men, or magi, but it doesn't specify how many made the journey to see Jesus. The only clue we have about their number is the mention of 3 gifts. Professor Greenup clarifies this point. We know there were 3 gifts: gold, frankincense, and myrrh. But the Bible doesn't give the number of magi who presented them. This lack of specificity has led to different interpretations over the centuries. Some scholars believe there might have been 2 wise men, others suggest there could have been many more. The number 3, while not explicitly stated in the Bible, likely gained traction due to the 3 gifts presented to Jesus. Gold, a symbol of kingship, frankincense, used in religious ceremonies, and myrrh, an expensive perfume often used for anointing the dead, each held symbolic significance. These gifts pointed to Jesus' identity as king, priest, and ultimately the one who would conquer death. The association of 3 wise men with these 3 gifts created a neat and memorable narrative, which easily captured the imagination. Over time, the number 3 became synonymous with the wise men, solidifying its place in Christmas tradition. The uncertainty surrounding the number of wise men, far from diminishing their significance, adds another layer of intrigue to the Christmas story. It reminds us that some details are left open to interpretation, allowing for diverse understandings and traditions to emerge. Chapter 6. The Enduring Magic of the Nativity. So next time you watch a nativity play, remember that some of the most beloved elements of the Christmas story are not actually found in the Bible. The innkeeper, the little donkey, the animals huddled around the manger. These details, while not biblically accurate, have enriched the narrative, adding layers of meaning and symbolism that resonate deeply with us. This doesn't make the story any less special, but it's always fascinating to learn the origins of our traditions. The evolution of the Christmas story, from its humble beginnings to the elaborate celebrations we see today, is a testament to its enduring power to inspire hope, generosity, and a sense of wonder. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more interesting